What will make a Las Vegas father of 7 commit a gruesome murder in broad daylight? Before we give the details of this shocking case of homicide, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like, comment, and share our videos. On a chilly January morning, the lives of 3 individuals would converge in a single act of irreversible violence. A husband turned executioner, a wife fighting for her life, a girlfriend whose future was stolen in an instant. In a matter of moments, a 24-year relationship came to a catastrophic end, leaving behind a trail of grief, unanswered questions, and shattered lives. What drives someone to cross the line from heartbreak to destruction? How do emotions fester and twist into something so devastating? And most importantly, could this tragedy have been prevented? Adrian Rodriguez-Guillen, a 41-year-old father of 7, stood at the center of this grim tale. After a long marriage that ended in divorce, Adrian and his ex-wife remained bound by shared responsibilities and lingering feelings. But their fragile arrangement began to crumble when she moved on, finding solace and companionship in Adriana Herrera, a coworker from Harry Reid International Airport, Las Vegas. Months before the violent confrontation, warning signs loomed. Adrian's jealousy intensified, and his threats became more explicit. Yet, despite his alarming behavior, few could have predicted the harrowing events of January 3, 2025. Early that morning, Adrian blocked Adriana's car with his own, armed with a rifle, and intent on ending the love triangle that had consumed him. In a chilling display of premeditated rage, he fired, taking Adriana's life and wounding his ex-wife before surrendering himself to authorities. What are your thoughts on the impact of unresolved emotions in relationships? Have you ever witnessed or experienced the consequences of jealousy? Share your experiences in the comments. January 3rd began like any other day, but it would end in tragedy. Adrian Rodriguez-Guillen, gripped by a dark resolve, carried out his plan. As Adriana and his ex-wife approached their vehicle, he emerged from his hiding spot, armed with a rifle. The scene was chaotic and horrifying. A single shot ended Adriana's life, and another struck his ex-wife, who managed to flee and call for help. After the shooting, Adrian placed a call to the police, confessing to his crimes without resistance. The calmness of his surrender stood in stark contrast to the violence of his actions, leaving investigators to piece together the motivations behind his devastating choices. Adrian Rodriguez-Guillen was a man whose life seemed to be a reflection of dedication and responsibility. A father of 7 and a longtime resident of Las Vegas, he carried the image of a hardworking individual who provided for his family. Married in 2001, he shared 24 years of a deeply complex relationship with his wife. However, beneath the surface of their union lay troubling dynamics: Adrian's need for control, his inability to handle rejection, and his increasing jealousy. For years after their divorce in 2013, Adrian continued to live under the same roof with his ex-wife, a choice they made for their children. But what seemed like a practical arrangement became a dangerous breeding ground for unresolved emotions. Those close to him described him as possessive and unable to accept the idea of his ex-wife moving on, despite their formal separation. Adrian's ex-wife was a woman who endured years of emotional turbulence. As a mother of 7, her priority was her children, but as a partner, she had reached her limits. Their relationship, which began with love and optimism, had devolved into one marred by control and distrust. After years of trying to make things work, she made the difficult decision to divorce him in 2013. However, out of necessity, she stayed in the same home, navigating a cohabitation fraught with tension and underlying hostility. 18 months before the tragic incident, she took a bold step toward reclaiming her life. She found new hope in Adriana Herrera, a coworker who brought a sense of renewal and joy into her world. But this new relationship, instead of being a fresh start, became the trigger for Adrian's growing obsession and eventual collapse. Adriana Herrera, at 40 years old, was described as warm, caring, and full of life. A fellow employee at Harry Reid International Airport, she became not only a source of comfort, but also a symbol of change for Adrian's ex-wife. Her relationship with Adrian's ex-wife brought joy to both of them, but unknowingly placed her in the center of a deadly conflict. Adriana, by all accounts, was innocent of any wrongdoing. She simply loved someone who had been through years of pain and turmoil. Tragically, her decision to embrace this relationship led her into Adrian's path of destruction. For years after their divorce, Adrian and his ex-wife maintained a fragile coexistence. But cracks began to show as Adrian's controlling nature resurfaced. Witnesses later revealed that he frequently made unsettling remarks, unable to accept the new relationship forming between his ex-wife and Adriana. In the months leading up to the tragedy, Adrian's behavior grew more alarming. He made explicit threats, saying he would kill both women and send them to hell. Despite these red flags, Adrian's ex-wife stood firm in her decision to move on. She ended their relationship for good just 2 months before the shooting. Yet, instead of accepting her choice, Adrian's jealousy escalated into rage. On January 2, 2025, the day before the incident, he began meticulously planning his actions, determined to confront the 2 women and put an end to the life they were building together. On January 3rd, Adrian drove to Adriana's house, where she and his ex-wife were staying. Hiding his car out of sight, he lay in wait, armed with a rifle. When the women entered Adriana's vehicle, Adrian blocked their path and unleashed his wrath. His ex-wife survived, though gravely injured, while Adriana was killed instantly. What do you think are the warning signs that someone may act on jealousy or anger? How can these signs be addressed before it's too late? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. The morning of January 3rd, 2025, began like any other for Adriana and Adrian's ex-wife. They had no idea that Adrian had been preparing for this confrontation. After leaving Adriana's house and getting into the car, they found their path blocked by Adrian's vehicle. Adrian emerged with a rifle, his expression cold and determined. Without hesitation, he fired at Adriana first, ensuring she had no chance to escape. His ex-wife, caught in the chaos, attempted to flee, but Adrian turned the weapon on her as well, shooting and wounding her before she could get away. The scene was chaotic and horrifying. Witnesses later described hearing gunshots echoing through the neighborhood and seeing Adrian standing over the aftermath of his actions. What made the event even more chilling was his immediate calm afterward. Adrian called the police himself, confessing to the shooting and waiting for law enforcement to arrive. There was no remorse in his voice, only a matter-of-fact acknowledgement of what he had done. After his arrest, Adrian Rodriguez Guillen faced a long list of charges, including open murder with the use of a deadly weapon, attempted murder, kidnapping, and burglary. He was held without bail, with prosecutors arguing that he posed a significant danger to the community and the surviving victim. Adrian's first court appearance was scheduled. for February 19th, where he would face a preliminary hearing to determine the evidence against him. Legal experts speculated that, given the overwhelming evidence and his own confession, a conviction was almost certain. However, the question remained whether he would face the death penalty or life imprisonment without parole. The trial itself was expected to be lengthy, with witnesses, forensic evidence, and emotional testimonies painting a picture of a man driven to violence by his inability to let go. The court would also hear from his children, who were now grappling with the trauma of losing their mother figure and seeing their father behind bars. Adrian Rodriguez-Guillen now faces charges that include open murder with the use of a deadly weapon, attempted murder, kidnapping, and burglary. His initial court appearance was brief, but the weight of his actions loomed large in the courtroom. Bail was denied, and the case is now moving toward a trial, with the next hearing set for February 19th. Legal experts suggest that Adrian could face life in prison or even the death penalty if convicted. His defense may argue diminished responsibility due to emotional turmoil, but the evidence against him is damning. The trial will undoubtedly delve into the complexities of the love triangle, examining how jealousy and control turn deadly. Do you think the legal system adequately handles cases of domestic violence and premeditated crimes like this one? What could be improved? Share your opinions below. The consequences of Adrian's actions extended far beyond the immediate victims. His 7 children were left without a stable family structure, forced to process the loss of Adriana and the imprisonment of their father. Co-workers at Harry Reid International Airport, who had known all 3 individuals, described the atmosphere as one of disbelief and sorrow. The incident also raised broader questions about domestic violence and how communities can better support individuals in similar situations. Friends and neighbors of the family expressed regret that they hadn't intervened sooner, despite noticing signs of Adrian's growing instability. This case is not isolated. Similar incidents, like the recent sentencing of Zachariah Anderson for a jealousy-driven murder in Wisconsin, underline the dangers of unchecked emotions and possessiveness. These cases highlight a pattern that demands attention: how emotional control can lead to catastrophic outcomes. What lessons can society learn from these tragedies? Are there ways to spot the warning signs earlier? Share your thoughts below. Don't forget to like and share this video, and remember to turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next story.